could never beat her. Low sour jawbreakers, I swear I could never eat her. Baddest chick in the school, I swear I could never meet her. Until I wrote her a letter telling her I'm a singer. Me and Terrence would draw pictures of sneakers. Me and Ashley used to be in the class singing. I wrote my first rap in the back of the class thinking, I'm feeling it, yeah. Feel alive, did you get feeling alive? If you feel it, raise your L in the sky. I remember selling my mixtape in high school. They was really kinda supportive at my school. I was selling cassette tapes for $5. I was making my own beats, I was beatboxing. Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, ayy. 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 Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, ayy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show here on Wednesday, September 23rd. Hey, my name is Barry Cunningham. I am a real estate investor here in South Florida, and I'm also doing some development in opportunity zones down here in South Florida as well. Taking a ride tomorrow. This might be a live show tomorrow. I'm going to head down to the Sistrunk area down in Fort Lauderdale and look at some opportunity in the opportunity zone. So how you guys doing today? Good, bad, settling in for a night of watching the riots on TV, see what burns. People don't get their way and they just burn shit up. Whatever. So these 3 days, and when I'm talking these 3 days, I said yesterday, Tuesday, today I did the Palm Beach County market report. Today's Wednesday. I plan to do the Broward County market report. Just so you know, I have it all queued up right here, ready to go. And have been prepared, doing my show notes. And then tomorrow was going to do the Miami-Dade market report. And then I realized probably in the last, I'd say 15 or 20 minutes that I'm not into it. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, and people are ecstatic that houses are selling and they're selling for such an expensive amount. And you know, it's a seller's market and people are getting what they can right now. But I have a little bit of integrity. And I can't wave that flag honestly. There's just no way for me to honestly continue to wave this flag about the market reports for this period of time while we're in a pandemic. I just feel like, you ever see that movie Monsters Inc? And the big monsters in the closet and nobody wants to believe that they're actually there. And the little girl, can't sleep at night, and eventually she turns in, she begins to love the monster. Maybe she was a real estate agent, because that monster is real. And everywhere I look on this report, and it's just one big glowing report about how things are so great in the market, which they are right now. And I feel like everybody I talk to, every single real estate agent I talk to, is ignoring the monster under the bed or in the closet. It just doesn't seem real. I could come up with 1,000 analogies. I've used the iceberg, but in any event, nobody seems to have any interest as to what the hell is coming down the pike and how fabricated this real estate market actually is. I mean, we're in South Florida. We ourselves quite lucky. We live in a paradise with the beach, the ocean. The weather is mostly fantastic. Nice and breezy earlier this morning. It was just beautiful. And we ride around and we're mostly open. Some places you got to wear the mask when you go in. But my wife and I have been going to iPick and watching movies. We've been going to the restaurants and having dinner. This past weekend we went down and enjoyed the Miami Dolphins loss to the Buffalo Bills because it was the experience, not so much the game. We were actually in a suite enjoying the game, eating food, not really caring about what was going on, kind of oblivious to all the problems that people are having in other areas. We're not having to experience people breaking windows and burning stuff down yet. We don't have to worry about so much that other people have to worry about that I think people down here forget. They absolutely forget what's going on. The COVID has slowed down tremendously. We're not seeing hospitals packed with people getting sick. So life, for the most part, except for not being able to play as much. We can't do, the festivals. We can't do the concerts. We can't do the plays. But for life, for the most part, is seemingly normal. But at the same time, I don't think enough people are looking at this show that we're in and understanding what's behind the curtain. I don't think people are looking at things. I think, again, that they look at this data and say, wow, the market's doing fantastic. Everything's up. Everything is fine. And they're not accepting, or they don't care, that it's unreal. It's not true. It's fake. And when I say fake, yes, these houses are indeed closing. And yes, they are closing at an exorbitant amount of money. The prices are sky high. We're at the top of the market. But I wouldn't settle into it. I know I'm an investor and I look to get the best deal possible. And right now in the seller's market, it's not the best time for an investor to be trying to find deals because everybody is greedy right now, as well they should be. But I wouldn't be honest if I didn't keep telling you guys there's some shit coming. And you think maybe I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, and I am. Because this show, me talking, is talking to investors and people who are looking to make money in real estate. I'm not putting together a course. I don't have anything that I want to sell you for $9.99 so you can learn how to do real estate. This is your course. So, this being your course, I have to tell you what you need to look for. And what you need to look for is not on these pages, because these pages here are not telling us the full story. And everyone that goes through this, every single real estate agent that will regurgitate this to every client they can talk to, is going to talk about how well the South Florida market is. That's their job. Their job is a salesperson. When you go to a car dealership, when you look to buy a car dealer doesn't tell you as soon as you drive off the lot, this thing is going to depreciate by 15 or 20%. The car dealer doesn't tell you, I'm not sure those tires are going to last. The car dealer doesn't tell you, hey, carburetor or something breaks inside. It's going to cost you a lot. You're expected to know. You're expected, and the thing is, buyer beware. Caveat emptor. Understand the transaction you are getting into. You know that if you go to buy a car, most of those things are going to happen. You're going to lose money as soon as you drive it off the lot. The value is just going to drop. Repairs could be expensive if they're not under warranty. You know all this. But when you look at this stuff, do you know all the same thing here? Do you know what the depreciation and what the value of the drop is going to drop when you stick the key in the door? I don't know for sure, but I know it's going to be drastic. And anybody who's looking at the data, not this data is just numbers put into a spreadsheet, made to look fancy, and then stuck back out. Yeah, so we look at it. Broward did very well, 1,600 sales, up 16% from the year before. The average sale price is up 16.7% to 528,000. They're moving fast. Everything is moving. We only have 2.8 months of inventory. I told you before, 2.8 months of inventory is nothing. People are going to blow through that. We are in a 100% seller's market. Make your money now. Do whatever you need to do. If you're selling a property, be happy. Cash out. Get the money. Do what you need to do. But if you're an investor, this is when you need to be a little bit concerned and worried. You see people are out there greedy. The absorption rate or months of supply of inventory is only 2.8. That means it's going to continue to go up in price. And this is not the time that we want to be dabbling in property. Now, I mean that not immersed. We're still going to buy some deals. We're still going to find some. I put out 3 contracts yesterday. So you just have to know how to find the deals and know what you're looking for. I'm talking to you guys who want to do this as a business and look at this long term. It's almost like you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Hey, Barry, you need to lose weight." Well, I feel fine. Yeah, but if you don't lose weight, here's what you could run into. Here's what could happen. So I just am the person who's being cautious. And I'm telling you, things are fine right now. You feel good. You're making some money. But as an investor, someone who's looking to do this as a business, I think you need to be worried. I think you need to really look at what's happening, take the data in place, forget the market reports. They're just glowing reports, and it just feels like we're in Westwood. People are walking around with smiles, and it's great today to buy real estate, and nobody is looking at the data. But I'm going to show you something.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So don't worry, I'm going to basically take this report in its full entirety. I'm going to put the link in the description to the video, so you're going to still be able to see it. You can still pour through it and take my summary of it's fantastic and look at it deeply yourself and see where things are going. Right now, if I owned a property that was a house that I wanted to sell, I bet your ass I would sell. I'd make sure it was at curb appeal and ready to go because people are nuts and they're buying at the top of the market. Basically, you set your price. The inventory right now is crazy low and people are looking for homes. So let them have it. I wish I was sitting on 10 of them right now and I'd probably be done for the entire year in terms of revenue for the next 12 months. This is the time to sell if you're sitting on a property. Now, let's be realistic and talk about guys like me, maybe guys like you, women like you, who want to make money in real estate and the data that you need to be looking at. Now, I told you this a number of times. I've gone ahead and posted this. And this article is from the South Florida Business Journal. And we talked about it yesterday. I've talked about it a few times here. And more than 33,000 homeowners in South Florida have fallen behind on their FHA mortgage. That's the FHA. 33,000. We have 33,000 people just in FHA who are delinquent on their mortgage. Now, understand, I keep trying to tell people this, in a normal market, there would be foreclosures on an ongoing basis. And they would get foreclosed, they would get put on the market, the REOs would sell, and there wouldn't be that much of a blip. I don't think we would be in such a crisis if the market and the courts were working in symbiosis and working at the same time. But they're not. The only thing that's working now is the good stuff. The bad stuff hasn't hit the market yet. And that's what people have to understand. The bad stuff is still sitting on the dock, on the warehouse. It hasn't come out yet. That's friggin' scary. And that's unrealistic. You see, as I said, both would be working at the same time. Realtors would be selling houses, banks would be doing REOs, and there wouldn't be a tremendous amount of impact. However, when you're looking at this and you're seeing that the delinquency rate is over 20%, I want you to remember that number. That number is going to come back. It's something you need to write down right now, 20%. Because what I'm going to show you is going to freak you out. I guarantee you, you're going to be friggin' wicked. I should put that on a t-shirt. Friggin' wicked. Because you're going to be friggin' wicked when you see what I'm going to say. So, ran across this article today. Let me go ahead and zoom it in. This is from a place called Florida Trend, Florida Business Authority. You see, this when I do my research, I dig deep. I try to find every little bit. And this is from September 20th, so just a couple days ago. Still fresh. Good news. News that's right off the charts. I model myself after how Rush Limbaugh produces his show, and this is from my stack. This is what I put together so that I could talk to you about and have credibility. So, it talks about all the different things here. And I noticed here in the ATOM data, ATTOM, they mentioned the August 2020 foreclosure report. Now, this just goes through and tells you all the different filings that are happening. There were 1,274 foreclosure filings in August, topped by 1,300 filed in California, which has more than 14 million housing units compared with Florida's 9.35. So we're not really at the bad spot. We're not really there yet. But remember, this was 1 month. That's just nobody's talking about the last 7 or 8 months. So multiply that number by 7, 8, 9, and come up with what's sitting there in the background. And that doesn't even include what hasn't been filed yet. So as you're going through here, you read just certain things that jump out. Many courthouses across the country have been closed or have had their caseloads dramatically reduced during the pandemic. So over here, just so you can just get a grasp of it, over here, you have foreclosures being held back, the monsters being stuck in a closet, and it's not able to come out. It's there. Those of us who look know it's there. Realtors aren't looking, but it's there. And a mortgage broker definitely not looking. They're not going to tell you watch out. They're going to get you in the best mortgage possible, which is their job. But you need to have all this data. And when you don't have all this data, you're going to miss some of the key points, like this one. As many as 10%, let me have to zoom in a little bit more. It's really fine print. As many as 10% of Florida mortgages were 30 days or more delinquent, according to CoreLogic. Now, the big data set, which you should be looking at if you're in this business, significantly higher than the national 7.3% average. Remember, I showed you that other site and it says just on FHA alone, we're at 20%. National average, 7.3. Okay, Bear, you're throwing some stats at me, but I really don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you look at this, you will. So, some believe the wave won't materialize right now because many vulnerable Floridians are among the 3.7 million enrolled in government and private sector mortgage forbearance programs. OMG. There are 3.7 million people currently in a forbearance program trying to save their mortgage. 3.7 million. Read it. 3.7 million people in government programs or private sector programs, both together, trying to save their mortgage. Oh my God. We're talking about being happy because when we look at the Broward County statistics, and, here we go right here. Let's take a look at this. And it says that active inventory in Broward County is 3,400. 3,400 active listings in Broward County. And we're saying this is a great market. And then we're looking at this story right here, and it's telling us 3.7 million homes. 3.7 are in basically life support. Suddenly, 3,500 homes in inventory doesn't sound like a whole bunch when you see 3.7 million on life support. So we continue in the next paragraph, which is scary. 2 million of those programs, 2 million of those in programs expire in October, although 70% of those who applied for forbearance would have made their payments without it. Many realtors say without a rebound in jobs, mortgage relief won't help many. Come on. The monster. The monster is there. The monster is there, ready to go. 3.7 currently enrolled, 2 million people expires in October, and realtors are actually saying, I don't know who they're saying it to, but without a rebound in jobs, mortgage relief efforts won't help many. Last paragraph. You ready for this? The last paragraph. I hate to be so dramatic, but this is the kind of stuff that I look at. And the last paragraph of this article, I just blew it up. It says, if the pandemic induced, let me just move it up so you can see. Okay. Boom. Here in Palm Beach, if the pandemic induced recession continues in Palm Beach County, Judgment Day is coming. I find it odd that this is the last sentence in this entire article of a very data-driven blog that nobody is actually paying attention to. But I just told you. Scared yet? If I was a homeowner, terrified. If I'm an investor, I'm drooling. I am drooling because, as Warren Buffett has often said, and I'll say it again, let them eat their cake right now. Be fearful in the market when others are being greedy. Be fearful. Let them have their cake, per se. But, and this is the big but, be greedy when others are fearful. That, my friends, is your money-making mantra. And when you see shit like this, that even the realtors are saying these people are up this creek without a paddle. And if something doesn't happen real soon, Judgment Day is coming. Well, I'm here to tell you it's definitely coming. I may be the only one out there telling you to be ready. Be ready. Get your money in order. You're going to have your choice of the litter. You're going to be able to pick up properties for a song because, oh my God, when I get back from the break, I am going to show you why we're about to see one of the worst times ever. I do mean it.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
this is the Atom foreclosure report. Atom foreclosure report, and it's just chock full of all kinds of data talking about what's going on in the various markets. And it may be more expensive than what you have to pay, than what you'd be willing to do. But I want you to look at something. I'm going to blow this up. And watch how data can really mess with your head. So, when you look at this chart, and I'm going to show you this, you need to take some notes. This is the historical list of foreclosures in the first half of the year, going all the way back to 2008, 2009, 2010. It doesn't have to 2020 here yet, but you can see that back in 2010, we had foreclosures of 1.6 million people went into foreclosure back in 2010, 1.5 in 09, 1.3 in 08. And this is when the market absolutely crashed. Doesn't look too bad when you look here and say, hey, listen, well, we're only at about 296,000. 2020, we don't have all the data because the courts have been closed. So it looks like there's been a real rebound in the housing market. Real rebound. Now, looking further at some data here, and when I found this article, and this is from a news report from an attorney, and he's sounding the alarm about the spike in delinquencies as an ominous sound. I'll go through this, but one of the things right here, and he's talking about the delinquency rate in mortgages and how that related to foreclosure. This is the paragraph that I want to probably print and keep coming back to put the delinquency rate in perspective. And I want you to read this and learn it and understand this monster's just complete size and what's going on. So let's take a look at it together, shall we? I blew it up too much. This is amazing. All right. To put this delinquency rate in perspective, during the peak of the previous housing downturn in November of 2008, and here's when it happened, 1.3, you can see the million and what the rate was. Well, back then, during the peak of the previous downturn, delinquencies were at 2%. 2. We had millions of people in foreclosure, and the delinquency rate was only 2%. And right now, just in the FHA market, as we saw, just in the FHA market, as I told you at the beginning of the show, it's over 20%. The delinquency rate is 10 times what it was in 2008, 2009. 10x is the delinquency rate. So again, you don't have to use my figures. These are actual numbers coming from people who are digging into this, who have all the data. And when you see this, that's my dog. When you see this kind of stuff and see delinquencies are only 2% in 2008, poor logic suggests the areas hardest hit are also Miami and New York City. And as delinquencies continue to increase, the housing market suffers downward. Although recovery is always possible, it seems we're on the verge of another home value correction, which may catch many by surprise. You now know what's coming. You now know that this monster is under the bed. It's not going away. It's being held right now in a cage, artificially being suppressed from eating. And in a couple months, we're going to see this animal unleashed. And it's hungry. And it's got 7 or 8 months of delinquencies to eat on. just remember that again. I'll say it. 2008, delinquencies were only at 2%. 2008, 2%. And when that happened back in 2008, there were 1,300,000, 1,500,000, 1,600,000 foreclosures with a 2% delinquency rate. And right now, we're seeing 20% on FHA stuff. And we're seeing, I think he mentioned that right now the delinquency in Florida is 6.1. Do you see what I'm saying now? Is it making sense? We're at least 3x to 4x the worst time in real estate history in terms of delinquencies. Could be as high as 10x in terms of delinquencies, and nobody's talking. This is real estate malpractice. People have to understand that it's such a Westworldian real estate market that it's not fun. It's fake. It's orchestrated. It's choreographed. It's a television show. It's a really, really bad reality TV show because you're not seeing the truth of the market. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you what's going to happen. Challenge me. You know, I consider myself, pretty good at what I do. Okay. But I could be wrong. But I'm not seeing any data. None. That's challenging. You have some? Show me. Show me how we get out of basically a 20% delinquency rate and 33,000 homeowners in South Florida who are falling behind their mortgage. Show me. I'd love to see it. Tell me how all these people here, this 2.7 million people that we see on here, are going to catch up. 3.7 million in forbearance. Show me. Show me how anybody is saying anywhere that, hey, we'll pull out of this. We can't spend government money going through all this. It's just not going to happen. So, anyone that wants to read the Flowery Reports, I'll go ahead and put a link to it, but I'm done. I am absolutely done. Because now the focus has to be on what do you need to do to make money coming up. Because as this article says, from here in Palm Beach, the Board of Realtors, Judgment Day is coming. Didn't say if, didn't say maybe, it's coming. And when that happens, boy, Katie bar the door, because at that point, everything changes. The script flips, the greedy become the fearful, and the fearful can then become the greedy. That's when we end up making G5. Remember the movie Tropic Thunder? Les Nessman is happy at the end because he's going to make. I got to splice that in somewhere. I got to find it there. I'll have it for tomorrow for sure. Because if you're a real estate investor and you plan on enjoying the fruits of the market, you plan on just being happy and making money, literally hand over fist in the next 6 to 18 months, you're going to feel like less than nothing. You're not going to believe what happens. Trust me. Ask anybody. You ask anybody who was in the game during this period. You ask anybody who was playing in real estate during this period. And they're going to tell you with frothing lips, oh my God, I can't believe how much money I made. And then here are the bottom. Well, fans, it's money time. If you get your ducks in a row, it's going to be a wild ride. You're going to make a ton of money. I'm going to be there with you. But I'm done talking about how great the real estate market is. We all see it selling. We all know there's the seller's market. We all know that the inventory is low. We know that it's a right now, but only those who are listening and reading the data. I hope you watch this and maybe watch it twice and get me some information that you'd like me to discuss. We can, go over it, leave some comments. I'll answer them. But you can't ignore the data, because if you ignore the data, then you become like them and you ignore the monster under the bed. And that monster in about 6 to 12 months is going to eat voraciously. And people are going to be, so the rest of us are going to be ready for it. Be ready. Do you have any idea what it's going to be like when you're going to have your pick of property and you can decide what you're going to buy, at what price you're going to buy it? And people are, like I said before, have just handed the keys to me and said, I'm done. It's an amazing time to be in business. So I hope you learned something from today's show. If you have any questions, please feel free. I'd love to answer your questions and help you. And then tomorrow, I'm going to head down to the Opportunity Zone and maybe do a video from there. So I'm not sure what's up for tomorrow as of right now. You guys have a great evening.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.